Welcome back to the Deep Dive, powered by Insight Sauce, where we turn complex data into, well, clear and actionable knowledge. I'm Ginny Edwards.
And I'm Andrew Welbeck, ready to unpack what might be the biggest shift in digital since the invention of the hyperlink.
I think you might be right. Today, our mission is a deep dive into the shift from, traditional SEO to what we're now calling generative engine optimization, or GEO.
And we're not just talking theory, we're outlining six practical, high-impact experiments that you should be running, frankly, right now.
The goal being to make sure your brand is seen, and this is the key part cited by large language models by 2026.
The urgency here is, you really can't overstate it. We've seen data showing AI source traffic jumped 527% year over year.
527%, that's just staggering.
It is. And it means that AI summary is now the first and sometimes only touch point for a user.
And that's where the real risk is hiding, right? Because we've seen that when marketers ask these AIs about their own brands, like, who is my company, 2 out of 3 times the AI got it wrong.
Completely wrong. Outdated services, wrong location, sometimes it even suggested a competitor.
Wow.
That's the core challenge. The AI is shaping perception before anyone even gets to your site. This brings us to a fundamental shift in thinking.
Which is?
Visibility isn't just about ranking in a list anymore. It's about whether you are present and how you're framed inside that AI-generated response, being mentioned accurately. That's the new click.
Okay, so if the stakes are that high, how do we start? You can't just overhaul your entire marketing strategy overnight.
No, and you shouldn't. You approach it with controlled learning. These GEO experiments need to be small, reversible tests. The whole point is to get decision quality data fast, like in 60 to 90 days.
Find the levers that actually work for your brand.
Exactly. And the first lever has to be content structure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about experiment 1, building an LLM-ready topic cluster.
We've all been doing topic clusters for years. So what's the big change when we're targeting a machine?
The goal is machine readability, not, narrative flow. Generative systems don't read like humans. They chunk content. They're looking for clean entities and predictable structure.
So you're basically spoon-feeding the AI.
You are. You structure your pillar pages H2s around natural language questions. What is this topic? How much does it cost? What should I avoid? You're just giving it the query answer pair it's built to find.
But that feels so counterintuitive to good writing, where you want to ease the reader in.
Which is why the single most important tactic here is summary-first design. We have to kill the fluff. That, in today's fast-paced digital landscape, intro, it's a waste of space.
Get straight to the point.
Immediately. Lead with a fast, clear overview in the first 100, maybe 150 words. We saw a dental practice do this. They rebuilt one cluster, and in 75 days, they appeared in AI overviews for 9 of their 13 target queries.
Up from what?
Up from just 2, all from a structural fix.
That's a massive return. Okay, so structure is one thing, but let's go back to that 2 out of 3 inaccuracy rate. That's terrifying.
It is. And it leads us right to experiment 2, running a brand entity and sentiment sprint. The problem is, AI is just terrible at nuance. It prioritizes consistency above all else.
So if your messaging is a little different on, say, your website versus a directory listing.
The LLM will just Frankenstein together whatever it finds. It'll create a description from bits and pieces of incorrect or outdated info.
So the first step has to be an audit. Find out what the AI thinks you are right now.
Absolutely. Go to ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and just ask, who is brand name? And you log everything, the description, the sentiment, the sources it cites. That's your before snapshot.
And the fix is just consistency everywhere.
Aggressive consistency. On your site, update your home and about pages with clear schema organization, local business schema, off-site, clean up all your listings. And, this is a big one, encourage detailed customer reviews. The models weigh specificity way more than just star ratings.
Do you have an example of that working?
We do. A regional HVAC company was always described as mainly serving residential. They cleaned up their entity signals, and within 70 days, the AI started correctly describing them as residential and commercial. The machine just wants a single source of truth.
A single source of truth. That makes sense. Okay, let's circle back to content for a minute with experiment 3, testing summary formats.
Right. This is about really optimizing those first 150 words we talked about. The theory is simple. If the opening is unclear, the LLM just skips the whole page, marks it as unhelpful.
So what are we testing here? What formats work best?
We suggest an ABC test, really. You compare 3 formats. First, short bullet summaries. These are amazing for definitions, costs, pros and cons.
Just quick, digestible facts.
Exactly. Second, tight paragraph summaries, 2 or 3 really clear sentences. and you test those against the control, which is the traditional narrative intro that, frankly, LLMs tend to ignore.
The bullet points, though, they
Yeah.
feel so basic. Doesn't that risk oversimplifying a complex topic?
It's about priority. You're front-loading the most extractable facts. For the machine, a bullet point is the ultimate clean entity. It's just a list of facts it can digest and cite.
And you have data on this.
For sure. An e-commerce client saw their bullet format pages appear in AI overviews 3 times more often. And interestingly, they also got a 22% higher click-through rate from humans.
So people like it too.
Turns out humans appreciate clear, fast answers just as much as machines do.
Okay, so we've fixed our content, we've stabilized our brand identity, but how do we measure any of this? Clicks and rankings feel outdated.
They are. You're totally blind to this new reality. Which brings us to experiment 4, monitoring and activating the 4 core AI KPIs. Rank tracking just falls short. You have to measure influence inside the model's memory.
All right, break down those 4 KPIs for us.
First is mentions. Simple. How often does your brand appear? But you have to break it down by query type. Are you showing up for broad questions, or only when someone is ready to buy?
Okay, that makes sense. What's number 2?
Second is sentiment. How is your brand described? Is it fast and trusted, or is it expensive and complex?
Oh, that's fascinating. So if the AI calls my brand costly, the fix isn't technical, it's a content fix.
Precisely. You don't tweak your schema, you publish an ROI calculator. You're resolving a messaging gap, not an SEO problem.
I love that. Okay, what's number 3?
KPI 3 is competitive share of voice, your visibility versus your peers. It's a battle map. It shows you exactly where your competitors are winning the answers to category questions.
And the last one, sources, feels like the most important.
It is the ultimate test of authority. Which domains does the AI trust? If it cites an analyst report instead of your own content, you've lost. You aren't the authority.
Your content has to be the foundation of the answer, not just a reference.
That's the goal, which leads perfectly into experiment 5, implementing an integrated media strategy, the old PSO model.
Paid, earned, shared, owned. This is where those marketing silos really have to come down.
They have to. The AI doesn't see silos. It sees a web of interconnected data points. And here's the data nugget that should change everyone's budget meeting tomorrow. Up to 89% of AI citations come from earned media.
Wait. 89% from PR and media mentions.
89%.
So you're saying my PR team is suddenly more important for GEO than my content team?
It requires a massive reprioritization. Your owned media, your website, provides the clean technical foundation. But earned media high authority stories, original research, that provides the external trust signal the LLM craves.
And the other channels.
Shared media, so social, doesn't drive many direct citations, only about 4%, but it trains the algorithms on what's trending. And paid media has an indirect impact by driving traffic to your well-structured owned content, boosting engagement signals. It all has to work together.
This all feels like it's building towards something bigger, not just answering questions, but doing things.
It is. We have to look ahead to 2026, and that's experiment 6. Agent-proofing your transactional content.
AI agents, so autonomous systems that are actually completing tasks for users.
Exactly. Shopping, booking trips, executing workflows. Right now, traffic at the bottom of the funnel is holding steady, but it's going to erode as agents take over. The click is changing its entire function.
It's no longer a human navigating, it's a machine executing a transaction.
That's it, and we're already seeing the protocols being built for this. Things like AP2, the Agent Payments Protocol, or the Gemini Computer Use Model API. These are creating standards for how agents interact with websites to, verify prices and make secure purchases.
So friction at checkout is about to disappear.
Completely. Which means you need a dual strategy for 2026.
Okay, what are the 2 parts?
First, for the agent, the execution part, your bottom-of-funnel content pricing pages, checkout flows, has to be technically flawless, perfect schema, accessible APIs, zero friction for the machine.
And the second part?
Second, for the human, the selection part, you have to double down on top-of-funnel content. The click might be dying, but the recommendation is everything. You win by being the brand the LLM suggests when the user asks, who should I trust?
So the actual human decision, the moment of truth, it all happens inside the chat box before a transaction even starts. The game is shifting from optimizing for rankings to optimizing for the model's memory.
That is the entire game. And it's a huge shift, but the payoff is massive. We've seen users who come from generative engines convert at a much higher rate, sometimes up to 16% versus, maybe 1.8% for traditional organic search.
Because they're already sold on the idea. The trust has been
The
built.
trust is built, visibility becomes influence.
So to recap, focus on machine readability, clean up your brand entity everywhere, and shift your measurement from clicks to influence.
And here's the final thought to mull over. If the AI agent handles the purchase, how are you going to win the trust-building conversation that happens entirely before that transaction ever begins?
Something to think about as you plan for the next year. This has been an essential deep dive. Thanks so much for breaking it all down.
My pleasure.
Apply these insights, and we'll catch you on the next one.